Hey everybody, welcome back to Ogre Speed Shop. So I just finished a video, the next round of that on the 1-ton, and discovered, because somebody asked me a question about my steering or my throttle linkage and throttle cable on my original 70 GMC, that made me open the hood and look at it. And I found a puddle of fuel and a screw sitting on top of the intake. So we got to figure out, well, I know what it is, but we'll get into what it is here in a minute as we pull the carburetor off of it to fix it. All right, let's get in here and, well, first of all, I'll show you what I found. Probably won't focus at all, but I found this little screw sitting right down here in the intake in a puddle of fuel, by the way. And this thing's been running funky, mainly like cold starts, not cold starts, well, yeah, cold starts. And after it's running, I pull it outside or something. It's like not running right. So I'll show you where it's from as soon as we get the carburetor off. Let's get the carburetor pulled off here. And even that was loose. Have I been in here lately? I was getting ready to buy a carb kit for this, figuring it was a power valve that was messing up on me the way it was acting. But I think I found the other reason, the real reason. I need to get the right size fitting here. This is a 5/16. Everything else is 3/8. Yeah, I wasn't here. Oh, that's right. I wasn't here yesterday. 2 days ago, doing a video on a timing light that somebody sent me. I'm not sure if I'm even going to publish it because, well, I'm not sure if it's worth it or not. We've had a lot of carburetors on this bench the last couple of days. All right, so what I saw, I'm going to spill some gas here. This is a screw. And hopefully it ain't broken, but I can't imagine it's not. Okay, that's not where it's from. But it is leaking. I think it's leaking from the accelerator pump. Where was that little screw from? Well, I don't know. I really thought it was an accelerator pump screw, but definitely seems to be leaking from that, but where it's leaking from the cover. Damn it. I don't want to have to buy a whole new kit, but oh well, I guess I have to. Where in the world did that screw come from? Way too small for anything else. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of looks like we'll get, I don't know. I can't tell where the leak's at. Screws weren't loose. Can't imagine anything being on the front of this thing. Such a small screw. Where the heck did that screw come from? But we did have gas leaking, so I guess it needed to come off either way. Just really thought it was an accelerator pump screw, but it's way too small. I don't know what the heck that is. It's like a flathead. Huh. I don't know. We'll figure it out. After I went to bed last night, it dawned on me a little bit what that little screw, that little thing right there, we found in the intake yesterday, might be from. And think about it. I think this thing's got screws on the back side of it, and look at that, it's loose. So I think that's where the screw came from, and that might be where the leak's coming from too. And if that's leaking, that could cause me to have the running issues with the carburetor as well. So let's get that off of there and check it and see if maybe it was leaking. And if it was leaking, we may have solved our problem. So I got the heat going today because it is cold outside, and hopefully my microphone's picking this up. If it doesn't, you know, I'm losing some footage here, but that's cool. Let me get this thing off of here and see if this is what was leaking. All right, let's get her over to the bench. I don't know if you can see or not, but right there is where that screw goes. Can't believe they're both loose like that. So I'm curious if it can leak out of that. Let's try testing it. So I'm basically just going to fill it up with brake clean and see if it leaks out that hole. I don't see anything leaking out, but well, I also didn't fill it up very much, did I? Can't see nothing. May need pressure to actually, I'm not showing you anything. Might need pressure to actually make a difference. Well, let's get the screw put back in. Maybe we'll put the carb back on, see if it's still leaking. If it was spraying out of that, it could have been making it look like it was the problem. I don't know. Yeah, they're both loose. It's crazy. I wonder if I can block this end off. Maybe I'll do that. I'll block this end off and turn the fuel pump on and see if it'll still leak. So I made a little block off here. Stick that on there and see what happens when we put pressure to it. I shut the heater off too because, well, it's a flame. If this does leak, I don't want it spewing everywhere and catching on fire. All right. Let's see what happens. Fuel pressure's good. Don't see any leaks. Oh, what do you think? Should we just put the carb back on it and see what happens? See if it's leaking? I think that's what we should do. The carb kit won't be here till Tuesday anyway, so it's Saturday. Might as well go ahead and put it on. That way it's not down and out for a week. Pressure went down, cool. So this is not a dead end or a dead-headed fuel system. It's got a return in the back. I got two regulators on here because the one regulator I bought didn't drop the pressure enough for the carburetor. So I added another one up here, which makes it easier to adjust. And I think it's about time for me to get a new sweatshirt or to break out a new sweatshirt. I have one in my closet. I just haven't used it yet. Really need to get a stud kit for this. I hate dealing with bolts, but it's what I had at the time, and I haven't changed it, so it's the way it goes. I'll tell you what, you really notice how cold it is when you grab the tools with your bare hands. So how crazy is it that those screws came loose? You ever had a problem like that with Mr. Gasket Gauge? It's my first time ever having that issue. I know I've said it before on my channel, but you don't ever want to over torque your carb bolts. That's why I always use a quarter drive ratchet, because you can break the ears off of these things pretty easily. Quarter drive ratchet, and you choke up on it right above it, so it's just like twisting off a jar of mayonnaise or something. The lid off a jar of mayonnaise. All right, so we got that good. I said earlier I gotta get a new fitting for this because this is a 5/16 and everything else is 3/8 line. And I ordered one time and it ended up being 5/16, or it didn't fit into here. because I didn't know what size that was. Vacuum line's hooked up, advance, throttle. I don't think that can interfere, nope. All right, let's fire up the fuel pumps, make sure it doesn't leak. Get our 5 PSIs. See nothing leaking. Well, so far nothing's obvious, so I don't see any leaks. Maybe it was just the gauge with the screw missing. Sounds great. Adjust that. I don't like that bend. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see if I can pull it over a little bit. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Wasn't like that before. I don't know why it's kind of off now. Might be just because of this. Let's see, does it fit now? What in the world? Is it hitting everything now? Oh, that was nice. One of the freaking spark plug wires was off. Okay, I gotta adjust that. I'll be back when I get that adjusted right. All right, I think we're good right there. Just really, I could probably cut this thing down a little bit, huh? I think I was planning on going with a bigger air cleaner at one point. Taller air cleaner, but obviously I haven't yet, so why do I still have it? I can always replace it if I need to. All right. Throttle's okay. Yep. Let's go ahead and cut that thing off. While we're here, might as well. Let's hope we don't catch anything on fire. Nice chamfering tool work on that, something that small? Yeah, not with a screw on there. The thread will chase itself once it's I'm gonna take it off again. All right, let's fire it up again and make sure we still ain't leaking nothing. Well, as of right now, we should be good to go. Still gotta get this radiator fixed. It leaks. It's got a leak right up here. So I can drive it. I just gotta make sure I keep my reservoir full so it can pull more water in, but it's not leaking so bad that I'm losing it all the time. Like I still have some in there. Need to top her off, but other than that, so yeah. So hopefully I can get this repaired because it's the original. Well, I don't know if it's the original, but it's the one that came with the truck. And it's original to the year anyways, or authentic to the year. So hopefully get this repaired, because if I can't take that to the show, I need to take this to the show. I need to make sure that everything's working all right. So anyways, looks like we fixed it. Luckily it wasn't the carb, but I still have a carb kit on the way. I'll put it on the shelf. If we need it, we'll put it in later. Still not sure about the power valve, but you know, that could have been what the problem was. It was leaking out of the back of that gauge, and causing all my problems. Man, am I a dummy. Why this thing wouldn't fit right, there's a reason for it. And now I went and cut the damn screw off. Sorry about the PCV stuff. These things frustrate me sometimes, and my mind ain't working right for the day. So now I gotta make a new screw. Yay. All right, there we go. It's all better now. So how many of you caught that mistake before I realized what I did? That I didn't put that back on? Leave it down in the comments. Let me know. Well, that screw in the back of the gauge did not fix the leaking problem. It is leaking still, so we're gonna get back on this and get that carburetor off there, get it rebuilt. Well, we're doing some work on the other 1970. As you can see, she's parked next to the other one. So there's a radiator shop in town. I'm gonna take the radiator in and have it fixed. So, because it's leaking right up here. Plus, we still have gas leak or fuel leak up in here someplace, and I think it's coming from the accelerator pump. Plus, it's still not running right. I mean, look at these black marks. That's from just starting it up. So it's running super rich for some reason. I think the power valve might be bad. We got a rebuild kit over there, and we're gonna be pulling this back off again. This time I won't, cut down the screw and forget that, the spacer underneath there again. But I also want to figure out a better route for this right here too, because it doesn't seem, I don't know what happened. It wasn't like that before, but it is now. So we got to figure out why. And I want to get rid of this battery tray because I have another one over here. It just needs cleaned up, but it's in perfect shape. It just looks bad. So clean it up, put some paint on it, and get that battery tray in there and have a factory battery tray with a factory tie down. So we're going to do all that in the continuation of this video that we started with the carburetor and finding that gauge being bad or having screws loose in it. Yeah, those screws were loose. But anyways, let's go draining it right now. Once we get to pulling it out, I'll bring you all back. So I'd show you that there's no good way of draining this other than just letting it drain out on top of the power steering gearbox and down into the bucket. But it seems to be working. I'm not spilling too much. Spilled some initially trying to hook a hose up to it to let it drain, but that didn't work too good. But overall, it ain't too bad. I figured while she's draining, we'll go ahead and get the battery taken out so we replace that tray to figure out a different way of mounting the fuel pressure regulator now, but we might be able to fit it in there. I don't know yet. Or maybe I might make a bracket that goes down from the battery tray. I don't know. We'll figure it out once it's off. So I'm going to go ahead and I got the one transmission line loosened already. I want to get it off. So hopefully it drains down and back and doesn't make a huge mess when I take the bottom one off. So this is almost drained, so I'm going to leave that drain for a little bit and we'll get the battery out. Oh, my wife's going to feed the cows. So if you hear her talking in the background, it's because she's feeding the cows. Well, this thing sure do make noise. I'm not even trying to get food right now. I don't know. They just make a lot of noise. This is one of the things I didn't like is it's not tied down at all. And I drive on some bumpy roads around here. One time I found it kicked up off of here, so I made this tray on here. Hi, Belle. One of our dogs just came in. So I made this tray because it was rusted out, so I just made this bottom piece and added it to the original one. And it works, but I didn't have any way of tying it down. I tried to bend it over. I think it's in a video way back when I first got it, so you can go check that out. So what's next? Can't get that off till the radiator's out. Let that drain down. Well, I hate the lower radiator hose. It's always going to make a mess. And disconnect the hose. In case you're wondering, the leak for the radiator is right up in this corner here. So, being a copper radiator should be pretty easy to fix. Talked to the guy today, and he seems pretty adamant that he can do it, so that's good. So, what's been my saving grace that's allowed me to drive this thing is I have an overflow. So it sucks the fluid in that leaks out. It never overheats. Right now, that fluid looks really disgusting. Yeah. It's not quite as green as it was originally. But, so yeah, overflows are a good idea because it allows you to, it refurbishes or refills the radiator. So I definitely suggest it. Ow, mother! Is that thing not coming off? The hose clamp is off. I don't know why. The stupid hose ain't coming off. I haven't checked that too because that looks like it might be a little weak. It's really tight to the tank. That's probably why. I'll talk to him when I go in there and see what he says about it. See if we can bend that up and make it less problem. Though the battery, I don't know. Maybe the battery's what's pushed it in there. I just noticed some rust holes in my inner fender. I think I knew they were there. I just didn't fix it because, well, you can't see it, and it's acts as a drain hole for the battery acid. So we're gonna let this, like I said, let that drain down. Let this finish draining, then we'll pull her out. This lower line off here for the transmission cooler. So it's a 5/8 headed. It's a 9/16 tube nut. So it takes a 5/8 tube nut wrench, and the adapter is a 3/4. So you just hold the adapter with a 3/4 so you don't loosen that part, and then take her out. See how much transmission fluid we lose when we, I let it drain down, and it should drain down a little bit, but doesn't mean it's going to. As you can see, I don't have a fan shroud on here. It's because the one that came with it, when I got the truck, was too small for the fan that was in the truck. So I did find one that came, I think it came with the other GMC, and it's bigger. So I might put it in now that I have one. But it, like I said before, it's never overheated. It never gets over like 180, maybe 195 at the most. Like when I had just a regular gauge hooked up to it before I got the gauges working, the actual gauge working. Excuse me. It never got over 180 on that gauge. So I ain't too worried about it. Seems to flow really good and is never overheated, which is a good thing. All right, so I got a drain pan underneath there. I'll close the petcock now, so it stops leaking out of this side. And it didn't really spill a whole lot of transmission fluid, a little bit. But I'm going to drop that lower hose now, and I know that's going to make a mess. What I can do to help mitigate my damages here, that's something kind of cool. I have this giant hose clamp. So I'm going to clamp off the hose to the radiator, try to minimize the amount of fluid that we lose when I disconnect that hose. Cool. It might just do the trick. Oh, excuse me. Just ate some licorice, which is bad for me, but hey. So my doctor's watching. Ignore that. Oh, I always love when these worm clamps freaking unscrew from the clamp instead of unscrew the clamp. Looks like I'm replacing a hose clamp. It's a brand new hose clamp. But that explains it all, because brand new stuff kind of sucks these days. Nobody takes pride in the quality of their products anymore. We have become a throwaway society. Nobody wants to fix anything, just want to throw it away and get something new. God dang, now it's stuck inside the hose clamp too? Jeez. And of course the fan's right there in the way. Hold your ears, you might be hearing some more swearing here in a second as soon as this thing pops on me and slam my arm again. Yep, it's making a mess, guaranteed. See this hose clamp. Oh, this is an old one. So that was going to come off just fine. Just need a flathead screwdriver and smaller flathead screwdriver. Or a 3/8 nut driver would have worked too. Hey, imagine that. It works the way it's supposed to. Nice. That's gross. So the coolant that was in here was brand new coolant. So I don't know what the heck is going on there, but it is not brand new anymore. It's kind of gross. All right, time to get this lower one off and make the mess. She was stuck. Might need a new hose now. And why? Because it's a new hose and it freaking gets stuck. Hey, clamping it off helped. Now the clamp is stuck where it's in the way, but that should do right there. All right, should be able to come out pretty easily now. 4 bolts, lift right out. It's about time I got to mix up some wasp bait because they are getting bad already. Went bombed me into the face yesterday. Came flying in, hit me right in the head. This is a pretty wide radiator compared to the other one. And what's ironic is that even the mounts have a wider rubber piece. This is wide. Must be the difference between V8. Well, actually, that radiator that goes to a square body. But anyways, but the hangers, they came with the truck, and they're smaller. So amazing the differences that these things have. All right, should just lift right out now while making a mess with the radiator or the coolant. There's still quite a bit of coolant in there. Ugh. What in the world is that from? It's got to just be from the radiator. Wow. Well, I'm not going to reuse that. That's just gross. Oh, I got so dirty so quick. Hope there isn't any in the combustion chamber or something. That would suck. Anyways, radiator's out, and I can take it into the shop tomorrow. Show you that I'm not lying about it being fresh. You can see the grain in that. But what came out of the bottom of this radiator, that is not green. It is really disgusting. The spring was sucked up into the radiator too from the hose. This is an original hose that came with the truck. I don't know how original it is to the truck. I really doubt it's original, but yeah. So then we need to get the that out. What's it called? The battery tray out now. I'm gonna use one of my favorite tools. It's this little kind of a pass-through style ratchet, and it's got a bit holder, so I can use that to remove the screws on the bottom of the fuel pressure regulator. Rather than, apparently that's how I put it on there. Just gotta find the hole. Another tool out there, some of you might have heard of it. It's called Chapman. It's a little mini thing. If you've been in the military, you definitely might know what it is because we use them quite a bit in the military. But it's a little tiny ratcheting type of tool like this. What in the heck? Why won't that go in? There's a Phillips head, right? Maybe not. What the heck is that? No way. It's a flathead? Damn you, Holly. Does that work? I'm a bit curious as to how the heck I got this thing on here. I do have an idea of this since we're pulling the carburetor anyways. Okay. This is being a pain in the butt. So I'm going to disconnect the line here, remove the whole assembly after removing the line down here, spill some gas and be happy about it and get this tray out of here, pull the whole tray out and we'll get it out. It's one of the things when you make custom hard lines like this, you got to deal with the consequences of trying to put them on and take them off. They look good. There we go. Now we can pull the battery tray out and remove it off the truck. Well, Still got to do the fuel tank on that, or the fuel lines on that. So now they smell like gas. It'll be perfect. So the reason why I had to get that radiator out first, because there's 3 screws between the radiator and the box. So the battery box. So you can't get that out with this. You ever have one of those days where just like, what is going on? Oh, I about pinched my finger there. That would have really took me off. 2, or one's right here, one's right here. So you had 3 here, 2 right here, and then 1 going through the wheel well. And now I need the extension. 1 more. And that can come out. 6 screws to hold that one little battery tray in. That's a bit ridiculous. And out she comes. You see, that's the custom little tray I made out of some 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch angle or something, maybe. I don't know. All right, battery tray's out, so we can get the other one cleaned up, get that one installed, figure out what we're going to do with the fuel pressure regulator on that. Maybe add a fan shroud. I don't know. We'll see. I just got back from town from dropping the radiator off, so that'll be, well, sometime. He said he's kind of swamped right now, so we'll see how long it takes. Hopefully not too long. But I said there's no big rush because it's not like it's a daily driver. But so yeah, we got the radiator on the way. Probably pull the carburetor off here today, maybe. I'm doing a bunch of wiring on that right now, so I'm not sure if I can get to this today or not. But I also got to repair the window regulator on that. I hate spending money on a daily driver. But anyways, got to do that. But so yeah, we got the radiator getting fixed right now. I just got back from Oklahoma City, dropping Robin off at the airport. She's going to San Diego again, do some work out there. And on my way home, I stopped in Elk City to pick up a radiator for the first 1970 GMC for the 2500. So we can get that out. I took it to a place called what is it? Word. So Word Radiator Repair. So it's right down there next to Homeland in Elk City. So if you ever need a radiator fix and you're in Elk City, that's the place to go. Talk to Joey. But anyways, we get that in here and get it installed. He painted it up nice and pretty too. He did say, however, that it's on borrowed time. I mean, it is an original radiator, so I can imagine it's probably not gonna. So it's getting pretty bad, but it's still good. For now, what the heck was that? It just fell. Damn ghosts. So I'll probably look into getting a Champion radiator again. Get a low aluminum 3-core again, just like I have in the Firebird. Okay, transmission cooler's in. Get this hose on, hopefully for the last time. There we go. And our mounts, our big fat mounts. He did find a couple holes and repaired everything, so these aren't the ones. These are for the battery tray. Get the right hardware. There they are. Yeah, I think probably after the truck gathering in April, it's now the beginning of March, probably order Champion radiators for both trucks. But I'll probably hold off on the 1 ton because I don't know engine-wise what's going to happen yet. All right, radiator's installed. I know I talked about putting the fan shroud on, but we'll see how it does without it because it's never overheated, so I think we're good on that. Yep. All right, so the radiator's done. We'll top it off later. What I forgot to do first, put the new battery tray in. We still got to clean that up. Got excited about getting the radiator, but I should be able to move it, tip it out, and get to it, hopefully. Can I get from it? No, I can't get it from this side. Because it goes through here. That tells you the kind of day I'm having. Just got back from Oklahoma City, so I've been gone for the whole morning from 9 o'clock till about 2. Taking Robin to the airport and whatnot. So, yep, fun drive, and yeah, that's how it is. The battery box back in, and it's a lot, a lot better. It'll definitely clamp down the battery a lot better than the old one, since it didn't clamp it down at all. So, should be good to go on that now. I don't know why is it acting that way, but whatever. I have it on backwards. I might have it on upside down. Yeah, I got it on upside down. That's why it didn't seem right. All right, got the radiator back in. Battery tray's on. She's running, circulating some fluid here. She's running really good. A little smoky, a little rich. But yeah, starting to come up the temperature now. You can barely see it. Let me see. There we go. Temperature's rising. Especially want to make sure it doesn't leak once it gets up to temperature, but I think I'm going to save the carb rebuild for a dedicated video. I just don't feel like doing it right now, and it's not leaking completely horribly bad, so I'm not too worried about it. So I think we're going to leave it at that. So the radiator's in, battery tray's in. We diagnosed the carburetor is leaking, and I got a kit for it. It's got to rebuild it, but that could be a whole video by itself. So that'll end this video here. For this video on the radiator and the carb diagnostics on the 1970 GMC C2500. So I'll do a different video, a separate video. I'm doing the carb rebuild at some point, but I'm not too worried about it right now, and I'm not too concerned about it right now. So on that note, if you like this video, leave a like down there, leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do better. Subscribe while you're at it. Why not? It's free. For everybody who's been here this long, stay till the end. I appreciate you being here. So until next time, I will see y'all later.